Hey guys, welcome to Kipoerneke's Corner. I am back over in EverQuest Legends at the moment. Forgot where I was back over in for a whole second there. And something has immediately happened. Had a little bit of a lag spike or something as I was walking along. Everything seems fine on the stream, but the game had a little bit of a, I don't know, it's stopped in mid-walk. Now, where are we at? We've got various things in the bags here. And to know that I was brewing up some concoctions and also doing a little bit of cooking last time I was in. Also hunting for some of this bat fur, bone chips, red wolf pelts, and spiderling eye to be able to get my faction up. I don't know where I put up my piece of paper, but I have a piece of paper somewhere that tells me those items on it. And I think that I turn those into the Emerald Warriors in order to get some faction with the merchants around here. I think there are some other ways to get some faction as well, but I don't remember what they are right off. I think right now I'm going to go ahead down to the southeast. There were all of those items that we need, the wolves and all that stuff. So let's head that direction. I'm a little low on drinks, but not too bad off. I have this bottle of Kalish, which I think it may be an alcoholic beverage. Not 100% sure of that, but possibly. Let's go ahead and check and see if anybody else is on right now as far as on my friends list. Did I go to the right place? Players, and then find player, maybe. Nope, not find player. What is it I'm looking for? Let's see, players, and then friends, that's the one. Let's do who. And it looks like we have Cro-Magnon as the only one in. Level 46 Shaman Necro Wizard. And he is busily going along in the plane of fate. That seems exciting. We've got some bandits over here. Those might be... Got a bandit lookout now. I should not be running around probably without buffs on it. Looks like I was on... Wonder what I was doing. How interesting. You know what? Did I just call back here as the last thing? Probably that I did. So let's, yeah, I think that's right. So let's load our buffs and then put those on. And then we'll load our adventuring tab and get that going. Starting with putting on the buffs, though, for sure. And I don't think that I have any new buffs that are longer lasting buffs like these. I'm not sure of that. I might. I'll check on my level 13 stuff again in a moment. I checked on it earlier, right after I hit level 13, but I think that I will make certain that I don't need to add any of those to this buff bar here. Got some fizzling going on the spirit site that time. And there we are. Alright, I've got this giant wasp drone. I'd like to go ahead and get that out of the way, I think. And we got a little bit of royal jelly for that, which I would like to stick into auto store. There for a moment I thought it wasn't going to, but then it did, so all is well. Alright, now, let's see. I guess I can move this morning dew over to that bag. Now, where was I? Yes, I need to change this to the adventuring tab here. Oh, I forgot to check and see if I needed to add more of those to the buffs. I'm telling you, I'm flighty as a bumblebee, man. I have no idea what I'm going on about at any given moment. Alright, let's press the K button. We're going to go over to the level 13 stuff. So we did have walking sleep. That's a good one, but it's in combat type thing. So it's something that I would have to find something to replace on my bar. Something to think about. We've got Purifying Rhythms here. That one is a 12-second one, so that's one that would go off all the time if I had it on my Symphonic aura thing. The Root is another in-combat thing. I did add it to my adventuring bar earlier. And then we've got the Brusco's Boastful Bellow, which is a singing skill. Its reuse is 30 seconds. That appears to me to also be something to do in combat. It's interesting. It says it causes 7 damage to your opponent. That seems very low when you look at Frost Drift, which can cause between 29, well, it's just 29 damage. Seems interesting. I mean, I guess it might be a faster thing that we could cast over and over again. I'm not really sure. Haven't used the Brusco's Boastful Bellow before. So, yeah, I don't know. Reuse is 30 seconds on a cast is 3 seconds. I don't understand. It also says, pushback 1. So does that actually push the creature back? Is that what it does? I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't think that I want to replace any of my things at this time. I'll have a look at it again later on. For now, let's go ahead and try rooting this guy and then putting some Tainted Breath on him. I didn't know if that would attract the attention of these other bandits over here who are gray or not. Kind of glad that it didn't, because I would like to see if you know, how it affects our faction, if it affects our faction with anybody, before I do anything like that. So, for now, what we've got is one bandit lookout going down, and it looks like to me that we didn't get any faction hits one way or another. We did get 1 gold, 3 silver, and 8 copper, which is kind of nice, but hey, he's a bandit. What do you want, right? Alright. Gonna head this direction. I think I probably want some more of that jelly. Not sure what it's used on. I feel like it's used for something. Maybe I have the recipe, maybe I don't. Or whatever it's used for. I do think that for these gray guys, I can typically just cast Tainted Breath on it and then walk away. And it'll just kind of die as we go along. Now, I have a black wolf somewhere, but I don't see him. I'm just going to cast... There it is, behind a tree. I had targeted him, and didn't know where he was. But Tainted Breath found him. Step Grandpa says, believe Bellows also does a stun. Very nice. Does Bard, you should twist haste, AC, strength, damage, shield, generally. So when you say twist, are you referring to casting those over and over again, the ones that are continually going in the background right here? As far as in battle stuff goes, I assume. See if we can go try to find something else to attack. Strakeling is going down. There we go. A giant wasp drone. I don't really need the giant wasps for anything that I know of, except, like I said, there's this royal honey. And I don't really know why the wasps have honey, but they do in this game, it seems. And that's fine, because I feel like we might be able to make some goodies with that at some point. Got a rusty battle axe here. Still have the bat attacking me. Ah, there's that Drakeling. Way over there. Good ways away. Fortunately, Tainted Breath can hit quite a long ways. This is, yep, Melody. Now, so Melody has Symphonic Aura in it. Step Grandpa says, I'm not sure how it works in EQL, but I was told they should run it in the background, leaving it open to still cast other spells. Run it in the background. Leaving it open to still cast other spells. I wonder what that means. The only thing that I could think of when I was talking about this earlier, I don't know if you were here for that or not, but the only thing that I could think you might would do with Melody would be if you made a macro where you would essentially have some things on Melody and some things on, on Symphonic Aura. And so the parts that you didn't have room for on Symphonic Aura, you could have a macro that basically turns off Symphonic Aura, casts those, and then turns on Symphonic Aura again so that those come back on. That's the only way that I could think that you would be able to use Melody in combination with Symphonic Aura. Because you could just turn that on every time, every few seconds, basically hit it again, and that would allow you, I feel, to run more, basically more of those. What do I have? What was that? I don't know. Something appeared very briefly on my, and then it was berries. Okay, cool. I needed some berries. Gotta go mix that berry juice, right? But yeah, that would be my thought on it. I don't know for sure. I haven't tried it, but I would imagine that it would work, and especially as we get higher level and get more spells, or songs, as the case may be. Because I think already I probably have more songs than I can fit in the Symphonic Aura bar. I just need to probably assign more points, honestly. Unallocated AA, I have 5 of them. So that would give me enough to at least open up one more slot of that, I think. Step Grandpa says, yeah, Symphonic Aura, haha, I should be able to run 5 different songs with that. Yes. So right now, let's see where I'm at. Okay, it's in this class thing, Symphonic Aura. Looks like currently I can run 4, and on the next one I'll be able to run 5. So I could go ahead and get that, and that would be smart. I may as well do it now. So let's train, and that'll give me the disabled version, and then it costs 3 for that, and then we train again for free, and I think that gives us the final thing, right? I believe so. Yes, we want to spend our 0 points. Absolutely, so now it's on. All right, so that's the 5 that I can have, which goes here, and then it skips root. So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. It would go that far. Now, after that, what I currently have is this elemental rhythms, which is not being turned on right now because I don't have room to put all of them on. So what I'm saying is that if I make a macro to turn off Symphonic Aura, then I could put just this on it, for instance, right? And then the next macro would turn on Symphonic Aura, and that way it would theoretically go ahead and recast that. And then when this comes up again, or when it finishes, but then I would have to be casting it, every 12 seconds or whatever. I'd be having to hit that button, which isn't a problem, but it is something to think about. I may do something like that on live, not sure. But yeah, that would be the only way I could think that it would work. I'm ignoring that fairy courtier, by the way, just because I don't want to take the faction hit. Even though I understand that the faction doesn't mean as much on here as it, or at least apparently at these levels, from what I understand, as it does on other games or on other tiers of this game. Still, I don't want to decrease my faction if I don't really need to, so just gonna let this barrier courtier beat on me and ignore it pretty much. I could go run into another zone, because it will be annoying that I keep getting stunned by the fairy. Step Grandpa says, yep, should work like that if you're going to use damage songs or slow, etc. I think so too. it feels probable that we could do that. Oh, I'm accidentally killing the courtier because I wasn't paying attention. Gotta stop that. Let's click Q so that we're out of combat. And just move on. Running after random things. I was gonna go for that orc conscript, but it seems that he's busy. I should, though, turn around and go back toward the south so that I can hit the wolves that are down there. I don't really necessarily need the wolves. Oh, that guy's in a fight. Go make sure he's okay. Yeah, looks like he's got him. But anyway, that way I can make sure that we have enough. I think I have enough wolves, probably. Well, all right, let's see. We don't have enough wolf pelts. Need 21 more wolf pelts at least, maybe more. I can't remember exactly how many we're gonna need. I think it was more than that, to be honest. I think it was like 260 something points that I need. So that would probably be over 50 turn-ins. That is. Step Grandpa says run to Crispin North into the map. Yes, that would cut off this this ferry. That's a good idea. I was just I had kind of forgotten about the ferry again. But you're right, that'll make it easier. Then I won't have to ignore the ferry because the ferry won't be there. Kill this orc centurion. Why not? Why not, I say. And let's remember to disarm and stuff every once in a while. So I also learned something else. I don't actually need to set up camp here in the Greater Feydark because there's this very cool spell. It's not a spell at all, it's a skill. And apparently everyone has it, and it's called Gather Party. And so if you're in a group with someone, then you can just call your group over to you, apparently. And it doesn't matter where you are, it'll just show you where that person is at. So that's pretty awesome. Why oh why is my tainted breath continually fizzling? What is happening? I don't understand. Huh, alright. So I'm not worried about it. We'll just go on out. Maybe it's that guy's pet or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that will be a lot easier if Mordor is standing there. Look, we can run to the gates of Mordor. Step Grandpa says, not sure if their faction matters, but there's a fairy kingdom in Lesser Feydark with a mini village and cast one zone over. Fairy kingdom in Lesser Feydark. Okay, cool. Do you know the name of it by chance? Just out of curiosity. Ah, Mordor ran by. Oh look, more orc centurion. I know that in, I think Felwith, is that where you mean? Surely you're not talking about Felwith, right? But in Felwith, they kind of hate me over there, for the most part, it seems. When I was there earlier. Let's make sure he's okay. Looks like he's doing pretty well. I think he's got this. Get a little ways away so that he has good hunting over here. That one is busy as well. We're there. It's hopping. How many people are in this zone right now? Let's check. 19 players in EverQuest. Well, in this zone of EverQuest Legends, obviously. Could switch to a higher difficulty. Wouldn't hurt. I'd have to get out of combat first. Maybe I can press the button. Let's see. And in fact, switching difficulties may get me closer to where I want to be. So, um, well, the fairy courtier has found me. I wonder if it'll consider me in combat right now. Probably it will. Yeah, it is. You cannot use pick zone while in combat. What a shame. Oh well. I shan't worry about it. You may have been talking about Felwith, it occurs to me. Step Grandpa says kill 10,000 orcs and you'll be good. Oh yeah. It sounds like a blast. And I may end up killing 10,000, you never know. Not on this server, but possibly on live. Because I'm sure that the crush bone will be a thing that we'll run through. I'm going to continue to ignore that fairy for now. Hopefully I don't accidentally kill it. That's the main thing. Alright, let's go south. You know what I realized? I don't have my navigation bar, or I don't see it. I wonder if we can just do /NAV. No, no good. How about, what was it? Let's try Control N, navigation. No good. How about Alt, or no, Control N is this actually. Post new message, interesting. Shift in. Nothing appears to be working. I guess I'd have to go to the options and pull up the navigation tab. It's kind of odd. I really thought that I had the navigation tab up, but obviously I don't. Oh well. It's of no real consequence. Now, let's see. I have got out of combat, maybe. I wonder if I can pick the zone now. It's better pick difficult. Nah, it's not going to let me. It thinks that just because that fairy courtier in the far distance wants to kill me, that I shouldn't be able to change zones. Even though I told it I'm not in combat. Shame. It's alright. I killed some worker bees along the way. Or worker wasps, as the case may be. I wonder if they have, man, I cannot even think of the name of the zone. It's off of Rivervale in EverQuest 2. And it is it's a dungeon. Cannot think of the name. Let's go ahead and I think this is Felwith right here. The guards don't hate me because of how many elves that are, not elves, how many orcs that I've killed. But the merchants won't deal with me. They're like, nah, you're not good enough for us. They're very, everybody's very, very against ogres around here. I think it's probably because we eat all the dwarves. And you would think that the dwarves would actually hate ogres more than others do, because I haven't seen any elves roasting over bodies in Agak, but I've definitely seen dwarf bodies roasting over fires over there. Well, half of dwarf bodies anyway. You got their torsos. It's a little freaky for the dwarves, I would imagine, if they come to visit. And, you know, you got their cousins sort of just hanging out. Probably not ideal. So I can understand a little bit of hesitancy for the ogre race, as it were. Species, I would say. But, Kipoerneke never did nothing to nobody, you know? Just trying to get by around here. It's a hard world out here. You got all kinds of stuff that'll attack you. It's crazy. Just walk outside your front door and all of a sudden you're under attack. It's a crazy world, Nora. Have some water that I got from foraging, and we got the spiderling eye here. I need that for the quest. I wonder if any of either there was a merchant actually I should have gone to there in Felwick. There's this one dude who will definitely trade with me. And last time I went to him, he had some cool stuff that I need from a quest. He didn't have the bat fur that I needed, but he had a lot of the other stuff. So maybe I go back over to him, and maybe somebody will have traded some of that into. Who knows? Who knows? Stepping around cost has quite a few places roasting dwarves. Wonder what they did. Well, maybe they just taste very good. I mean, have you considered? Personally, I've never eaten dwarf meat, and I can't say as to its quality. Maybe it's just excellence. Who can know? Definitely want to get these guys on my way, I guess, to Felwick. I suppose I'll go back over to Felwick and see if there's any of these bat types for sale. Bat fur specifically. The other bat stuff I don't really care about, but bat fur is something that I need. So looks like I still only have one of them. I don't know if I'm just not killing the right kind of bats or what the deal is. I've gotten lots of bat wings. Bat fur seems to be a novelty around here, though. It's also possible that the dwarves are just easier to catch than other things, right? So maybe the elves, harder to get a hold of. And the fairies, of course, they fly, so maybe they're a little just more difficult, right? So you get the easier prey, and maybe that's dwarves, especially if you have long distance weapons. And, dwarves, sure, they have artillery maybe, but for the most part, they don't have heavy defenses against long distance weapons, I would say. So, I don't know. Step grandpa says probably something like beer brats, I'd guess, based on the consumption. That's a possibility. I'm not into beer brats myself. Not one of those who cooks with alcohol or any of that. I'm not a drinker, and also I just don't it's not my cup of tea, as it were. But yeah, beer brats, I know that a lot of people love them, but I'm not those people, Now here we have this guy, and see, he trades with me because he's got his, money on the mind and his mind on the money and all that. But the rest of the guys in here don't want anything whatsoever to do with me. So, let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for bat fur. He certainly doesn't have any bat fur, what a shame. But he has a lot of other cool stuff. I'm not going to discount him. I think he's a good guy to buy from because he's always got interesting things. And I feel like a lot of this is trade skill items, right? So like here we have a piece of charcoal. I've never seen a piece of charcoal for sale. It's 1 gold and 2 silver, and I'm tempted just because I haven't seen it. In fact, I'm going to get it. I'm going to buy that charcoal. It feels like the right thing to do. What else is there on here? We got a drop of mercury. Really? That's crazy. It's so expensive. 2 platinum and 5 gold for a drop of mercury. That seems exorbitant. We can't even make a single thermometer with that, Alright, next, what else do we have? Anything fun? There's some fish scales. I think you can make some soup or something. I can't remember. You can make some kind of food with fish scales. Step Grandpa says, what are you working on? That's really a good question. I have a vague inclination to work on my faction with the Kelethan merchants, which require spiderling eyes, ruined wolf pelts, bone chips, and bat fur. But it's not necessary that I do that. It's just a sort of in the back of my mind thing. Otherwise, I don't really have a goal per se. I'm just sort of messing around, seeing what I can make in the way of foods and stuff. That's always fun. And also just kind of exploring. I don't know what I'm doing, checking to see what's going on in the world. Wow, that royal jelly is something, isn't it? 2 gold and 5 silver each. Craziness. There's also these rusty pieces, and I could always just buy those and go turn them into ore. What an exciting thing to do. But not at the moment. I've got these size 4 sprockets and also size 5 sprockets. No idea what to do with them, but maybe if we had enough of the sprockets and gizmos, we could make our own clockwork device. That seems fun. Wonder if you would need a certain skill to do that, like in, I don't know, what would it be? Would it be the forge? Is that where we would put together a creature? I have no idea. Certainly not the pottery wheel, right? I'm just thinking, maybe we could construct our own clockwork. Spider legs you can frost. No, wait, that might be spiderling legs that you can frost and make some snacks out of it. Got some sylvan berries. That's a very special kind of berry. I don't know if it's necessary or not. Let's see, a trinket pouch. Interesting. Not just any pouch. I suppose that's only tiny items. No, small. Okay, size cap is in fact tiny. So it says size small, but the size cap is tiny. Interesting, eh? Gotta watch for that. Alright, we got some horse bane here. That's gotta be a trade skill item, right? And some wolf meat. Step Grandpa says, sprockets are tinkering gnome only trade skills. Oh man, you gotta be a gnome to do it? How odd. That's a shame, because I have gotten some sprockets and stored them in my bank, I think, because they wouldn't go into my trade skill window. I certainly tried. If they're trade skill items, you would think that they could go into your trade skill depot. Wonder why they haven't. Maybe they're just maybe they've been overlooked in that arena. If so, I'm sure that the gnomes are sad. All right, let's see here. Try to find some more bats. You know, I just don't remember exactly what kind of bats drop the bat fur. I would think any bats would do, but maybe not. Maybe we have to get these just regular sylvan bats instead of the giant bats over on the other end of the world. Definitely want to get these wasps for that elite royal honey. It's interesting that the level 1 wasps are carrying around royal honey. You would think you would have a more trusted servant for that. This guy, you know, he may be very loyal, but what can he do, you know? Seems like the royalty over there is questionable. Take Cape says, hey, Githalium, do you have any tunes on Marshall? I do, which you must know. But I have not played them in some time. So, unlikely to be honest. At least for any reasonable amount of time. I may pop over there every once in a while just to, like, I don't know, maybe do some holiday events, or you know, if somebody wants to show me something, like I know that at least one person has asked me to come and look at his guild hall, you know, and things like that. But yeah, not really focused on Majduel these days. It has live is not really where it's at for me on EQT, so. Now, do they have a Majduel server on here? I don't know. They might. Step Grandpa says any bat, just uncommon compared to wings. Yeah, I would say they're definitely. I'm gonna say they're rare from my experience, because I've gotten one bat fur. I do have. Okay, that looks like a wing, but it's charcoal. You know what? The wings are probably going straight into the trade skill depot right now. Take Pape says, I was wondering if you wanted to do old grades, and that's why I asked. Not at the moment. Thank you for the offer, though. Yeah, not really interested in live at all. on there. Live on here, that'll be interesting. Live on there is not so interesting. I like the Origins server on there, and I have recently made one on the free trade server on there, which is not like Origins, somewhere in between Origins and Live. It's much easier than Origins, much faster than Origins, but it doesn't have the same grind to it as Live does, and just doing the same things over and over again, that's no fun. Take Pape says it's too pay to win, exactly. He says, I'd like to do high level raiding if I came back, it's too expensive to be the best though. You know, I mean, it's definitely one of those things where you would have to have a membership as far as that goes. It's just very time consuming to do very little, and again, I don't really mind the time consuming aspect. What I mind is doing the same dungeon 500 times, you know, and that's just all you're doing is cycling through dungeons, and that's just not, I just don't like that. You know, if people like that, more power to them. It's just not something that I'm into. And I'm not really into raiding. I did raiding for a while, but that was very specific to one guild, and it's a friend group that is no longer available. So that's pretty much. I'm not interested in that. Take Pape says, need crates for the familiars, etc. It's very RNG, the crates have to buy them. Yeah, I know that the crates are definitely like that. Yeah, the familiars, I know about familiars, and there were, last time I played, there were some ways to get different familiars by doing a daily quest, and that's all fine and well, but yes, there were some that were only available in, yeah, you know, basically you'd have to buy something to have a chance of getting it. Again, not something, more stuff I'm not interested in, you know. And then, of course, even after you buy the crate, then you have the luck element that you throw into that. And I'm not going to buy a crate anyway, let's be honest. That's just not going to happen. No, granted, you get 500 of the day rate cash per month if you're a member. So, you know, you do have that, and you have that opportunity. If you're lucky enough, maybe you can get what you need out of that, or if you're willing to wait long enough. But, you know, it actually killed me pretty badly whenever they started doing the thing of you go and you do your daily stuff, and you have like this chance in trade skilling, right? So I was just trying to get some recipes because I like, you know, I'm a recipe collector, really, and with some of my characters, I wanted to have all of the recipes that they could have in their class. And then when you throw into that, oh, well, you have to do these quests every day, and then you have this chance to get this recipe, and I did it with 13 characters for over a year and did not get the recipes, many of the recipes that I needed. And it was like the game's moving forward, and now there's more things that you have to do every day, and I'm sitting there cycling through, nah, forget that. That's a job, and it's what I'm not interested in. So, no thanks. None of that is appealing. Again, you know, if people are into it, great. Not my cup of tea. Step Grandpa says EQ live servers you could play for a decade easy with the amount of quests and trade skills and adventures and not get anywhere near done. That's true on EverQuest too. You can, you know, there are so incredibly many quests, and especially the earlier portions of the game had so many, and that's something I really enjoyed, and that's kind of why I played it. I'm having some trouble with finding quests here, but for this pre-order beta, I decided I'm not going to do the quests, really. I'm just going to do the other parts, and then I can explore questing and stuff a little bit later. because I find that I don't know enough about the game to very easily do the quest whenever it gives something like, oh yes, give this thing to the gobbler. Well, who's the gobbler and where do we find him? I didn't find him on closed beta anywhere. I'm sure that he's, or give this to the troll, right? But it's non-specific what troll. And so you just sort of, you have this stuff and you want to keep it in your bags just in case you need it. And if you don't know where you're going though, then there's not much sense in it. So I think it's better on this beta, just kind of not doing those, and I'll work on that later on, I feel. But definitely, I've been enjoying the trade skilling, and I understand that you can kind of only choose one trade skill to level up past 200 skill points. So I'll try to do that once I hit live. Now here, I'm just kind of messing around. And probably there, I'll just be messing around as well to a large degree. You can change your loadouts, but I don't know what that does as far as your trade skills go. I think you still keep your trade skill, and I don't know how to reset that. So say you wanted to be a different trade skill, how can you do that, right? If you've leveled one past 200, are you stuck on that class and you can no longer change that? Or when you change to a new loadout, does it reset your trade skill as well? Not sure. Step Grandpa says classic was more about grinding than questing. Right, that's what I'm getting, and it was a very great surprise to me, because coming from EverQuest 2, where there are so incredibly many quests, to this, I really had always been under the, I guess, assumption really that that EverQuest would have a good number of quests that would be filled with quests, right? Because you should be EverQuesting. And in fact, that is not the case, which I discovered with EQ Legends. So, surprising times. But I did figure out, okay, so we're just really supposed to kill stuff, primarily, and then I wonder what exactly we do when we get max level. I'm not sure. So I guess I'm just gonna find that out as I go along. It's my thought anyway. Step Grandpa says you can AA to get the other trades up. Oh, cool. So you could have all of your trade skills, for instance, if you had enough AA. What's the cap on AA, or is there one? If there's no cap on AA, that's phenomenal in many ways. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff. But I assume that there is a cap, right? Got another spotterling eye here, very nice, moving along with those. The great part about the spells is that even if the thing is going through the tree, we can still hit it. Let's not go after that fairy noble and say we did. How about that? So, I noticed you can also increase your foraging in AA points. So I was going to go look at that. So foraging has a cap. You can only, it looks like you can only do that once. How crazy. So it increases your forage skill cap by 50 points. I currently have 55 points. I don't know if that'll go up naturally or not. But we'll only be able to bring it up another 50 points over whatever it is, which is too bad. I see that there's extra lung capacity. That's cool. There's all kinds of neat stuff. I just have no idea how much you can end up getting at. Is it, will it stop going up when we hit max level? Probably, right? It's like, I don't know, we get a few per level, right? Maybe 3 or 4. The cap is all the AA you can get plus 100 extra or something like that, says Step Grandpa. All the AA you can get plus 100 extra. Okay. So what is all the AA you can get? Do you know the number? Like, is it 3 per level? Max level is 50, so is that like 150 AA plus 100, so 250? Or and of course I don't know if that's right about it being 3 per level either. So I'm just, it's probably not right, to be honest. I haven't paid much attention. Well, let's see, what level am I at? I'm at level 13. And how many have I used? Spent AA is 14, unallocated is 2, so we've got a total of 16 AA and 13 levels. That doesn't work very well, does it? So we're getting slightly more than 1 AA per level? Is that possibly true? I'm a little confused on spent AA versus assigned AA. What's the difference here? Isn't spent AA assigned AA, or is it, can you assign AA that you haven't spent? Can you spend AA that you haven't assigned? I don't know. What's the difference between those two things? I have no idea. I'm going the wrong way, I'll tell you that right now. Let's go look around. Checking on the bat fur. Sadly, no bat fur to be found still. What am I getting the most of? I'm not really sure. But I am going to have to run to a banker at some point because, believe it or not, I'm too far away from the oak farm. Because my bags are filling up slowly but surely. It's mostly the foraging doing it, I think. So we got the orc hatchet, which, I right-clicked, but I meant to right-click to change it to auto-merge. We're just gonna move this one. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Step Grandpa says AA is separate XP, so even at 50 you'll still accumulate, and I mean by all the AA as you bought every single thing you can. Oh, that's interesting. So you can get everything you can plus 100. What would be the point of the plus 100? Is that just for when the level increases so that you have some to be ready? Or like when the expansion comes out? You know, the next one? Oh, that person is in a fight. I will not take more of their stuff. Back away a little bit. Come get this pixie trickster over here. We got a cloth choker here. That's nice. We'll auto merge and then loot. Somehow I got turned back around and was going north again. Certainly not intentional. And I'm coming upon that poor fellow who's just trying to beat up on orcs. Minding his own business. And here I come interfering. Poor Strakeling's corpse falls to the ground with a pathetic screech. Okay, I'm gonna run a little bit just to get out of this guy's area. We'll come over here to this giant wasp drone. I must have moved after I started casting. So what's interesting is it doesn't seem to interrupt your spell casting by stopping it when that happens. It lets you continue to cast, and then afterward it's like, oh, you were interrupted, and it doesn't go off. Step Grandpa says for the next expansion or level increase. Nobody knows what direction EQL will go, but they're going to release independent expansions. Correct. That's what I understand. At a certain point, they're going to diverge from what they did in EQ1. That is what I believe, is what they've announced. Which is interesting. I mean, that should be very cool. I'm intrigued about the concept. It won't be as meaningful for me because of the fact that I never played EQ1, and so I won't know what's different. But I look forward to it nonetheless, because I think that way, you know, in some ways, we'll kind of be on the same playing field at that point, because they won't know what's going on, and I won't know what's going on, and it'll be new and exciting for everyone, I think. So I don't know, how do you guys feel about that? Would you rather have it be the same as in EverQuest 1? Or are you looking forward to new and different things? And I mean, they can do whatever they want with this, right? Like, they started here, but they could keep this system and not go in whatever direction that they went with EverQuest 1. Maybe it's, you know, maintains the same kind of feel as what it has now, as opposed to becoming what it is on live, which I think, from what I have heard, is pretty much the same that most modern games have gone through, right? The modern MMO, as they call it. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they'll go in a different direction, because I really personally prefer the older style. I like something that's a little more difficult than the current techniques, and I don't mean. I mean, I don't mean to say that. Well, I don't mean to be disparaging, but I don't know. Like I said, running through the same dungeon 20 times a day, and, you know, it's like, what are we doing today? Oh, well, we're gonna run through this dungeon, and it's gonna take 5 minutes, and then we're gonna go on to the next dungeon. We're gonna do that, and by the time we get through this cycle, we'll go to this other set of dungeons, and by the time we get through that, well, then it'll have been enough time for the first ones to unlock, so let's go back and do that again. And rinse and repeat for hours, and for what purpose, I don't know, because I'm not super interested in loot, and so I just don't really see the point in it. So yeah, I don't know. That seems to be pretty much the way things have gone overall in games, and that's, yeah, you know. And again, even for people who are running it solo, at least, you know, in EverQuest 2, which is my reference point right now, even in that case, it's like you're still just doing the same solo or duo zones, and, you know, you got your merc and your and yourself. Obviously, you run a duo zone over and over again, for what, you know. And again, I don't know if that's the case in this game, or in, not in this game, but in EverQuest 1. But it sounds very similar. The gameplay is very different between this and EverQuest 2, I would say. There's definitely some similarities, but a lot of differences too, so Can't try to forage while attacking, it keeps telling me. I'm not trying to forage game. I'm not trying. Just trying to kill a black wolf, that's all. Took me a whole minute to get there. I do need the wolf furs. The ruined wolf furs. Wolves, yeah, I think it's ruined wolf fur. That's what I call it. I think that what I'm dealing with here is issues with altitude. Maybe. Too far away to beg. None of that panhandling around here. You gotta beg up close and personal. That's what I have figured out. So according to Step Grandpa, bats of all sizes and shapes will drop the bat fur. You just have to get lucky, basically. Step Grandpa says for the next expansion or leveling, oh yes, already read that one. They're the same thing as far as end game and rating. Never played EQ2, but it's always been described as the prettier version of EQ1. That is not how I would describe it. It's a very different game, is what I would say. Everything, really, it's just a very different game. So yeah, I'm gonna sell these spiderling legs and maybe the black wolf tooth too. Yeah, I don't want to get extra stuff in my bags right now. And I think that those are like quest items or something for some quest. I don't know what quest. And I just don't want to collect them at the moment. Step Grandpa says just depends on the player though. I do trade skills and random quests or adventures mostly on EQ1. See, that's, I get that, because that's exactly what I like to do in EQ2. Trade skills and random quests. I like to do quests. I like the storylines. I haven't really been exposed to much in the way of the storylines here. Partially because, I've been not doing the quests. Again, I was starting an Auguk on closed beta, and I think that maybe Auguk just doesn't have too many. Look at that. Completed the achievement Bat Country. What is that? We click on it, it says, wow, 5 points. We got the Slayer skill. Would encourage you to avoid stopping in areas containing hostile bats. Avoid stopping in areas containing hostile bats. Well, they hate me more now, do they? I don't know. Reward choices. All of the options for this reward include AA Bane Strike and player flags. Okay. First rank of Bane Strike. And this passive ability improves the base damage of your melee attacks and the power of your damaging and healing abilities by 2%. Complete Slayer achievements to progress this ability. Requirements level 1, no previous ability requirements. Okay, interesting. I don't know what to click now. Do I just, it says select a reward? I have no idea how to. All of the options for this reward include those. I don't know how to get off this. Do I just exit out, maybe? Oh, maybe here? Okay. X. And then, no idea. Let's try expanding that a little. View mine. Okay. Maybe I just exit off. I think so. Alright. There we go. And then we have a rusty dagger. And what's this? Bead necklace. Interesting. It's auto merge and loot. Now I'm almost filled up in my bags. What I think I'll do is, once my bags are full, I will call... Probably I'll go to the origins thing. I'll use that because I can gate back over here if I need to, because I've set my gate to Greater Fadar. So, no problem. Step grandpa says it's auto granted in your AA window. Excellent. So AA window. So I got whatever that was. Bane strike something or something like that. When we find it, who knows? See, there it is. Bane strike. Very cool. Base damage of melee attacks and the power of your damaging and healing by 2%. That's super good. I don't know exactly how I got it. Was it killing 100 bats? Is that what the 100 of 100 meant? Perhaps. Let's click on it again. Bats and werebats. I think it's just killing them. Yeah, I think so. All right. Okay, so moving right along here, we got some forest drakelings. I don't know what the forest drakelings drop that I might want with that. We got some berries or something here. What is it? Who knows? It's hanging out on my cursor for a whole second though. That is because my bags are full. What shall I do? I could... Let's see, I could get rid of one of these keys. I don't think I really care about shackle key 17, for instance. That may be a way to go. That may be the best way to go. Yeah, I don't think I'm interested in shackle key 17. I also don't seem to know how to get rid of it. I suppose I could come here and throw it in the destroy. Maybe. There we go. Sure you want to destroy it? Absolutely. Step grandpa says just killing stuff. Killing bats specifically though, right? Because that was like werebats and bats destroyer thing. Step grandpa says sell, sell, sell. Yes. Did it. I sold the key via the destroy window. Alright, so I suppose I've done... Well, no, look at that. I just consumed 2 things, it seemed. I lost this berry, and also whatever was in the first slot there also disappeared. Interesting. It looks like all of my edible goo is gone. I didn't know all of the edible goo. Interesting. Who would have thought? I had so much of it. Now it's gone. Alright. Well, for now, though, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and not gate. I want to do origin. So let's do the origin thing. Let's see if we have these things. I don't think I do. No, I don't have the traction sneak yet. Alright, let's click origin. And that should take me back to Agon. Melt down the weapons. Yeah, I will definitely melt the weapons for ore. And if I can make them into metal sheets, that's even better. I've been enjoying, strangely, I've been enjoying turning the weapons into ore and metal. It's pretty cool. Definitely think I'm going to be doing that on live as well. The rusty weapons. It's a pretty cool thing, that. So, for now, I think I'm going to call it because it is 11:29. I was planning to definitely get off by 12, but I've run out of room in my bags, so, well, virtually. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it now and try to get a little extra sleep. However, it has been fun streaming with you guys, and I learn something new every time I play this for sure. But hopefully I'll be on tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then. If you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me and turn on notifications so that you can see the next time that I go live. If all goes well, I will see you then. Have a good night, everybody.